We almost got through without using it on the second one.
I know.
All right.
How do we feel about Jayden Daniels, quarterback, LSU,
Yeah,
second overall pick? I think
that's good.
Yeah,
like
this
it.
is.
Yeah.
I like it.
So this is an interesting moment here because we'll go to Gorney first on this. You made a really good point as we were even getting ready for this, and it was about Jayden's size in high school. Because I want to remind everybody, Jayden Daniels is 24 years old. He's older than some of the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. So he is let's say, he's skinny. I've been trying to, I'm not supposed to call him a wee little man. He's a wee little man for a quarterback, Gorney.
I said slight.
Slight, sure.
You can't call the guy
he is.
a wee little man. He's a professional athlete, and you are you.
Well,
Okay.
Listen, I'll say this. He played ball in the SEC.
Yeah?
He played against Bama. He played against the top talent in college football. So size, all of that don't matter to me. He showed up whenever he needed to. He played in the toughest conference. He showed toughness. He showed the ability to play smart. And like we talked about, he makes plays with his legs, but he doesn't take a lot of hits. He doesn't get plastered. He doesn't get tossed all over the ground where you're concerned about your quarterback. Like, he plays smart. He plays tough. To me, that's part of playing tough, is knowing how and when to play.
And there's no, let me be clear. I coveted Jayden Daniels. I wanted him to be the quarterback for my beloved Raiders. So I agree with everything you're saying. It's just when you see him stand next to Cam, he looks slight of frame.
Tripling down on it, huh?
He's
Double down,
slight
triple
of
down,
frame.
quadruple down.
Go ahead, Gordon.
Okay, but to be fair, let's be fair about Cam. This
Yeah.
guy's like 250, 240
Yeah,
to
Cam's like
250,
our
like 6'6". That dude's built like a linebacker. Like, when we saw him in the league, we're like, that's a linebacker playing quarterback.
That's
So
like me
let's-
standing next to Matt Harmon. It's just unfair.
Yeah.
So,
Very
but
fair.
yeah, he was a high 4-star quarterback in high school, super talented kid, ball pops. He's going to be a dual threat guy, much more of a dual threat than Sam Howell ever wished to be. And so I think he's going to, be a likable guy in the locker room. He's going to have a lot of fast receivers around him. That's kind of his game. Credit to him for transferring. It takes a lot of courage to do something like that. But at Arizona State, his career was going nowhere. His last year there, 10 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He goes to LSU, and I said this yesterday, it was almost like Burrow-esque in terms of restarting his career at LSU. He had Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. That helps for sure. But that's a big step up in competition as well. He's a player, and I think this is a great pick.
What's interesting with him, too, is that, we talk about the situation that he's going into. And I think from a receiver standpoint, he's got two guys that he can work really well with. I think Terry McLaurin can kind of map to a lot of those vertical X-receiver routes that Jayden Daniels had some success with Brian Thomas, obviously, on the outside. And I think Jahan Dotson is a much better player than his stats would indicate. I think he's a guy that can win on those slot fades that Malik Neighbors won on. Now, again, not in the same type of freaky way after the catch, but I think these are two guys that he can build a rapport with. But I'm interested in seeing if we see maybe Washington trade back into the first round here.